Hey guys, welcome to the Go to Game show. This is where Jack and I get to catch up every week. We get to find out what each other have been up to since we don't get to see each other in person very often anymore. Or what? I think twice in the last six,
Since
7, 8
March?
months. Yeah, we've seen each other in person.
Yeah, literally.
Um,
Two
so,
work
but we
events, and that's it.
yeah, but this show we get to talk to each other and go over everything that's been happening in the last week in gaming, chat about what we've been up to, and we're joined every single week by another guest and one of our friends, of course. SubParLover is joining us this week. How you going, brother?
Good, mate. How you doing?
Good, good.
Thanks for having me, lads.
Oh,
Hey, no
It's
worries.
nice to socialise.
There's a
oh,
big
dude,
list of
right?
people. It's so big, and I'm like, who do I hit up first? Who's going to be more pissed off if I don't get them on the show? Who's going to
Yeah.
be like, fuck, you should have hit me up 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Well,
it's
we had
crazy.
one person on the show last week who literally pulled us up. It was like, bro, I've been waiting for the invite.
Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when
I'm
we,
just, I'm
and
just
then-
happy to be here.
It was
I
fucking
don't care.
Rowie.
I don't care when.
It was
Oh,
Rowie.
was it?
Yeah.
yeah. And
That's
then when
about
we
right.
then when we got him on the show, it was in a group of like 9 other people, so he's like quiet the entire time.
Yeah. We'll
So
get him on
technically
by
it's in it.
himself,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
he'll
yeah.
just talk shit about our audio the whole time. So, what are you going to do? You can't win with him.
Anyway, Jack, what have we been up to this week?
Oh, more GTA roleplay, if you
Oh,
believe it.
That's a
If
change.
you would. I know. It's a change. Big change. But I also played Watch Dogs Legion, which
Yep.
is pretty cool.
Nice.
Which it was actually really, really cool. So
Yeah.
I did 2 sponsored streams actually, which is pretty
Well,
wild.
yeah.
I don't do a lot of big Twitch streamer sponsored stuff, but that sort of felt pretty cool. And I did my grandma cosplay. I got all
I
the
saw that.
granny gear sent out. So that was
You
pretty
were-
funny.
I was going to say you were the hairiest grandma I've ever seen, but that would also be
I
a
don't
lie.
know. I
That
don't
would
know.
actually be a lie.
That was fun. I actually cut my head open too, if you saw that on
I
Instagram.
saw that. That was gnarly.
How'd you manage
Well,
that?
I was getting changed because they sent out like a long sleeve like turtleneck skivvy kind of thing. They sent out
Okay.
actual like thick grandma stockings. So I put
Oh, look out.
I put those on before I put the jumper and the skirt on, and I was like, oh, I look like one of those guys that does ballet. So I was jumping around in Alicia's room, but it's an attic. It's a triangle attic. So it's already only 2 inches, like from me hitting my head on the roof. And I started jumping around, flicking my legs around like an idiot. And as I've jumped, there's these old like 1990s big globe lights with like that corrugated plastic around them.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
jumped
yeah.
and hit the edge, and it just went in my head and went like right across. I smashed the
Oh.
light and everything. Yeah, like
Did
instantly.
you get that on film?
Not
That would have been
that.
good content.
Oh, Alicia was filming just after I hit it, I think. I'd have to go back and have a look. But yeah,
It's
then I
funny
walked
how the
over.
brain instantly goes to like, oh, that'd be good content.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
That'd get some good engagement on Twitter.
It was very funny though. Like,
Made for TikTok.
have you ever hit your head that hard that you go, I'm like a
Seeing
second from
stars?
passing out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I hit
I
it
do-
that hard, and I was
And
like
heads
started going a little
bleed,
bit
too.
blurry. Yeah, it just started bleeding. I just started pouring out blood, and it wasn't even
Yeah,
that bad.
No, but heads bleed like a bitch.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so funny though.
I saw the first one where you just sort of went like, "Oh no, I've cut my head," and then your
Yeah.
next one where you did the whole slow pan down, and it was just like, "No."
Yeah.
Brutal.
It was actually crazy. But she just got some band-aids and stuck them, pushed my head together and put some band-aids over it.
Get
And
the
I
super
just
glue out.
put my grandma hat on and off the stream. I only had like half an
Soldier
hour,
on.
so I had to
Hey,
keep
you
going.
gotta do what you gotta do for those sponsored
Yeah, I know.
streams to keep them happy.
I
Dedication.
know.
Dedication to your
couldn't-
sport, mate.
I couldn't not. I'd already committed. Bloody
keep
concussion
the
or
brand
not,
happy.
I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, played a bit of Phasmophobia as well with the new update, which is cool.
Still
So
got to get around to playing
they
that,
did
dude.
the it's really good. It's really good. They changed it. They updated with they did the Halloween update, which was really cool. They've
Yeah.
added a few more things in. There was a lot of bugs with it. It's like one dude made it, and
Yeah.
then like a
Mm.
million people were fucking playing it. Like this
It's
dude.
still in
like,
beta, isn't it? Technically.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there
Um,
any games that are actually out of beta at the moment?
No, not
I was
many.
gonna say Fortnite's in
No.
year 6 of being in beta or something.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly. But yeah, pretty much that, which is really cool. You can alt tab now. You used to not, if you alt tabbed, you had to close the game down and reopen it for it to pick your mic up to talk to your friends again. And I alt tab a lot when I play, just like clicking on stream stuff. So, yeah. But that's me. GTA,
Nice.
Watch Dogs, and
Well,
Phasmophobia.
For once, I've actually been playing a bit of games, which normally, I don't know if you've seen, but normally it gets to my part and I'm like, oh, I haven't really played anything. I've been too busy. But on Friday, my wife and I did a Twitch stream as part of the Playable fundraiser, and we played for 7.5 hours, dude.
Wow.
God damn.
We played Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear 2. So we streamed back when we used to stream every Friday night. We played Layers of Fear 1. And I think it's been like 2 years since we've done those streams. And we decided, screw it, we'll do a stream and play some Layers of Fear, since Layers of Fear 2 was free on Epic. And it got to the point where at first we were playing it and just doing it for the donations and seeing how we got on and stuff. But with any story-driven game, you get to this certain point where you're like, I absolutely cannot stop playing until I have finished this.
Yeah.
You get too far in. You're like, I'm too committed to this.
So we started the stream at 9 p.m. and I think it was about 2 a.m. we got to that point where it was like, okay, we actually can't finish this game now. We need to know how this ends. And we didn't, it was daylight, bro, by the time we stopped. We pushed stop, went and had a coffee in the sun, and then went to bed.
That's amazing.
Isn't it funny how some games just like there's some games that just get their hooks into you, and some of them can come out of nowhere, and you find yourself you've just put 9 hours into them without thinking.
Oh, right. The last time I did that with a game would have been a few years ago, bro. I think it was Journey.
Yeah.
See, Journey, I played for about half an hour, and I was just like stuck. I had to finish this game. But that game was amazing. I still have that so high up on how to make a really good game, because it's got no dialogue. Yeah,
it's all atmospheric. Yeah, it's on my list of shame of games that when you tell people that you haven't played it, they kind of look at you and just go, "Oh, you're one of those people."
Yeah, I have such a long list of shame.
I haven't played it either, so there's two of us.
Yeah. I have such a long list of shame. Friend,
including not watching Lord of the Rings, you motherfucker. You're from New Zealand.
Oh, do we have to have this discussion? It's got to a point with Lord of the Rings.
We do a lot, but
yeah, it's got to the point with Lord of the Rings where it's become such a thing that I am the only Kiwi in the world who hasn't seen it. But games that I haven't played, like girl who used to work with us, Fran, she would find out games that I hadn't played. Like I had never played Portal.
Oh, really?
Right, that was on my list of shame. And one day she literally goes, right, you're stopping work. The game's only about 45 minutes long. You're going to sit there and play it before we finish doing what we're going to get done.
And how did you find it?
Oh, amazing game. I can see why everybody plays it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was on my list. The other one, what people massively threw shade at me for when they found out, was I had never played a Zelda game.
Neither have I.
And it's because I was a Sega kid.
Oh, damn. Well, that makes sense.
So you were what was that really popular game on Sega my cousin used to play all the time?
Which one?
I want to say, was it Alex the Kid? Was there a game called Alex the Kid?
Okay, Alex Kid.
Yeah,
There's
right.
No V. Any Sega fanboy
would be losing their mind right now.
No, it's Alex Kid.
Yeah. That was the one. Yeah. That and Sonic were the two big Sega games that I remember.
Yeah. So I was a Sega kid, so I just never played Zelda games, and I have since remedied that. I've played a few Zelda games, but it was on my list of games I had never played.
Was that at E3 where they maybe a year or two ago, where they announced they were doing like the remake of Alex Kidd?
Yeah, it was.
And then there was we were in a room full of people, and like 3 people were like, "Yeah," and everyone else is like, "The fuck is that?"
Yeah,
it's like Beard, Noel, and a few others.
Yeah. All the old boys in the room.
Yeah, all the old people.
Yeah, Alex Kidd's coming back.
Everyone's looking around going, "Okay, what is this shit?"
Yeah,
because they're like remake of a classic, and everyone's like, "Never heard of that shit."
Like, all the Zoomers in the room.
Yep, loving it.
And the only other game I played is I finally got around to playing WWE Battlegrounds.
Nice.
And dude, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. I'm not going to throw any shade at the last 2K game, but
it's a nice change of pace.
The new one is
Yeah.
it's fun that they've gotten back into more family games.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fun family arcadey sort of game, and I loved it. It was really cool.
We did a 3-stream series with Battlegrounds for 2K.
I did see that. It was you and Grim, right?
Yeah, me and Grim, and it was like we had some guests on and whatever, and it just is the definition of. I think 2020 is the year of the party game with like Among
totally
Us, Fall Guys,
Yeah.
and WWE 2K Battlegrounds the same. Like you just get like story mode's good. I enjoyed what I played of it.
Yeah.
But when you get in there with friends and you're just waffling each other with chairs, and it's just like
it's not a complicated move system.
Yeah, exactly right. I said when I played it, it's very similar to like Texas Hold'em poker. You can learn how to play it in like a minute or two, but if you want to get good at it, there's like more layers to it where you can string together those like Street Fighter kind of combos. But you just want to get in there and spam X and smack people in the head with a kendo stick. You can,
right.
And it's just as fun. Yeah.
I'll have to jump on and challenge you one day.
Absolutely. You will pummel me, but it'll be good.
Do you still have that belt from 2K?
I do. It would go in the room that I don't have to put things on display, but I do absolutely. The very first 2K inaugural champion. I do have it. Yeah, I wear it around, well, not anymore because of quarantine, but I wear it around try and, impress the ladies and stuff with it. It hasn't worked yet, but one day.
I can imagine you just walking into
we're
a
at
bar.
Woolies.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you have the Ric Flair robe as well?
I don't. Maybe that's where I've gone wrong.
Yeah. I was just about to say, I can imagine walking into the bar, Ric Flair robe, belt on, and being like,
maybe it's a 2-part combo, and I've only had the belt, and that's why I've fallen short so far.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. PAX 2021, where they're at the Twitch party or some shit, and here comes Subby walking in with his fucking belt and his cape on. That's it.
If 2K can hook me up with one of those robes, if Pez has got one laying around somewhere, I'll do it for sure.
We gave away one of those robes.
I think we did like a long time ago.
Yeah, we got one of the limited edition packs. I remember being shitty that we got one to give away because I wanted it.
You wanted it.
And I was like, I don't even know what this is. Here, give it away. Fuck it.
Yeah, because I think I'm like the only pro wrestling nerd in our entire office. So
yeah,
there has to be one. The quota is there has to be at least one in every office.
There has to be. There has to be. And then when the second one comes in, you have the challenge of, so when did you start watching? Oh, were you a WCW guy or a WWF guy?
Yeah, and then you go even further back than that. You see people frantically Googling for stuff that they, don't necessarily know, but they just want to win the competition.
Yeah. Then
it's a rivalry.
Oh, totally. But then you also get there's this weird thing with pro wrestling fans, which is when somebody who has never been a pro wrestling fan finally decides, I'm going to watch WrestleMania this year. And you're just like, this is my opportunity to sell them into the religion.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. And then there's always that moment where something cool happens, but then like 15 minutes later, something ridiculously cringe happens. And you're like, oh, that's right. Yeah. It's professional wrestling still. Yeah.
But you've got to explain the whole, how it works.
You're like, he's a monster that came back from the dead, you see. And and then you're like, you realize that you're explaining a male.
Yeah. And see, this guy over here, this guy's like
while still trying to tell me it's real.
Yeah. Well,
this guy's a TV show host, but he's also the scariest fucking person you've also ever seen.
Yeah, exactly right. He's two, and he's sort of possessed, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah. But he also still references when he used to be a hillbilly.
Yeah, when he used to be a normal, and exactly. You with us, Hutto? You keeping up?
Yes, I'm down. Okay. WrestleMania this year or next year, whenever it's on next.
Yeah,
I'll try and watch it.
Yes.
All right, Stubby, what have you been up to this week?
This week has been an unbelievable week for me. It's been, for those of you who don't know, which is probably 99% of you, I'm in Melbourne, and we have been in one of the strictest lockdowns of all time. So I've spent 4.5 months doing sweet FA, and my mind has just been turning into literal mush. Whereas this week, we've gotten our cases under control for now, touch wood. So we've had a lot more freedom. So I've gone and I've seen my niece for the first time since she was born back in March, which was amazing.
And
yeah, this was very, very cool. And have seen my mum and done all that kind of stuff, which is great. And then same as you, Hutto, it's funny, we were talking about games before that like sink their teeth into you. There hasn't been one for a while for me, but I got a little bit of sneaky early access to Watch Dogs, and I
Oi.
thought I'm going to play it off stream because I've been looking forward to it. I'll play it off stream, for a day or so and see how I feel about it, and just couldn't put it down. And then I streamed it 2 or 3 days, and geez, it's good. It's just fun.
It is
so
just really fun, hey.
yeah.
Have you found one of the construction guys with the nail gun?
Yes, nail gun and a wrench. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I used all the other like a heap of other guns, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I found old mate with a nail gun and just started like blogging people, but like it's like a silencer, but a nail gun.
It's brutal.
I don't know why I thought it was funny. It was just so fun.
No, I laughed as well. I shot someone with a nail gun just because they looked at me funny, and then I went up and had a look at them on the ground, and for a very short period of time before it fades away, the nail is still sticking out of their head. And
really?
I'm just like,
I hadn't even thought to look at that.
Yeah. And for some reason, I've got a female construction worker, and when she uses her melee weapon, which is the wrench, I don't know if it's programmed this way or if I just got really lucky with the camera angles, but she would take out people's legs and then just go straight for the crotch every single time. Every hit with that wrench is to the crotch. And I'm just like, this is the best game I think I've ever played in my whole life.
That's amazing. It probably, I don't know if that's meant to be like that, but if it is, awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. But I've just, I've realistically, that's been the main game. I've got Phasmophobia, and I'm terrified to play it, so I probably never will.
Do you have VR?
No, that'd be even worse.
Oh,
that's what I want to play. I want to play it in VR.
Oh God, yeah. I've never been a horror movie kind of person.
Was one of my favorite VR experiences because
what was that? Sorry,
Resident Evil 7.
Oh yeah,
one of my favorite VR experiences on PSVR because it was terrifying.
Yeah, not for me. I'm not that brave. I'm not going to lie. But, that's what I've been doing.
Is sick. Phasmophobia is sick.
Listen,
if you want to play it one night, let me know.
Yeah, you know how many people have said like, "Oh yeah."
I know everyone will.
Yeah.
But then it's about you just wanting to do it. It is. The first one is hectic. Especially if you're playing with people that know what they're doing, it's like I feel like that's worse because they know when shit's about to happen. They know what you need. They know where to go, and they're like, you have to go in. Like, and you're like,
So I don't want to.
I don't know.
I think
playing with people
persevered, I would probably be up. Like, because it does look. I have watched people play it, and it does look like a fundamentally a really fun game. If there wasn't jump scares and stuff in it, it'd probably still be a fun game. But I will inevitably give it a go. But at the moment, it's just been the last week has been seeing people in real life for the first time in 5 months, which has been mind bending. And Watch Dogs Legion, loving it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah. Well, while we're chatting to you about what you've been up to, why don't we find out a bit more about you, dude? Firstly, when did you get into Twitch? How did you get into it?
I think it was, someone asked me this the other day, and I think it was 3 years. Like, honestly, this year has just like warped everyone's perception of time.
Totally. It's funny you say that. I tweeted something the other day, which was 2020 has been like a time paradox where it's been the longest year, but also the fastest year ever. And it's been like an awesome year in some respects, but absolutely shit in most respects. It's just like absolutely, it's such a strange year for trying to keep track of when things have happened.
Well, it's been bookended because in January, thank God, in January I went to Europe for the first holiday I had in, honestly, it was about 6 years. Yeah. So I went to Europe, which was a great way to start the year. And just as I was coming back, it was like, coronavirus, this is a new thing. And then at the end of the year, we're finally going to be able to see some friends and family for Christmas. So like January and December, not too bad. Yeah. But everything in between has been
when did you fly back into the country?
I don't know. It was actually no, I do know. It was about the 10th of January, 10th or 15th of January.
So how did you fare with Like you didn't catch the virus or anything like that?
No. When we were over there, it was literally a case of like, um, it was just hitting the news. Like it was just like, what is corona? Oh, six people have it in wherever. And I remember I had just left Germany, and I remember reading as I was just about to come back to Australia that there was someone had got it in Germany.
Yeah.
So and that was enough to freak me out at the time. Little did we know.
All right,
Yeah.
so I've got a story, and I haven't publicly talked about this.
Exclusive.
This is totally. So my wife and I went over to New Zealand for Christmas last year, and it was a sort of a let's get the fuck out of this country that's burning down and go back to our homeland for a
Quite
few weeks.
literally at the time, yeah.
Yeah, quite literally. That's how
Yeah.
our year ended and started.
Mm.
And then we flew back in the start of February. I had probably the longest holiday I've had in like 10 years. And about 3 weeks later, I started feeling like shit. And Jack, you'll remember this. Do you remember that time me and you were standing outside the 7-Eleven by work, and I was just telling you, I'm taking tomorrow off. I'm going to the doctor. I feel like absolute shit. I can barely breathe.
Yeah, I remember you said you were like I remember, like you were like, I'm dying.
Yeah, I feel like I'm dying. This is horrible.
Yeah.
We've since found out, and this was like 2 months, maybe 4 months later, wife and I have found out that chances are we actually caught the virus then.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Right. It's just that we didn't know at the time. We didn't know what the symptoms were back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
At the time, it was basically the things that we were looking out for was, do you have a fever? Blah, 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 blah. Me and my wife went to the doctor. Like that. I told you I was taking a couple of days off to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor literally said, no, you're fine. You just got a bad chest infection or something.
That's
you
crazy.
don't have any of the other symptoms.
And we've since learned that you don't need any of the other symptoms. Some people don't have any of them, and they've still actually got it.
The funny thing was, at the time, the lack of taste thing wasn't known. And I totally had that. Like, we had the weird taste thing. We had the basically feeling like I genuinely at the time was Googling things like, because I'd started vaping and gotten stopped smoking. I was Googling things like, are there side effects to vaping and shit like that? Because I thought that was the only thing that had changed in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, so we think we caught it, and probably caught it flying back into Australia.
How scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
It's funny because Carice and I were the ones that were fucking out there publicly being like, be super fucking diligent, be careful, make sure you wear masks. And we were doing the same thing ourselves, but turns out that there's a really good chance that we had it. And we're possibly walking around spreading it.
Yeah.
But luckily, nobody we know has been diagnosed with it. Like,
yeah, got it.
And the closest person that I work with was Jack, and you were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably a good thing. Like, we naturally at work were like 2 meters apart from each other.
Yeah, like the desks at work are like really far apart.
Yeah.
So you were naturally socially distancing even though you weren't doing it on purpose.
Right.
And me and Fid go to work, go to our desks, go home. We don't really go to the kitchen or anything, so we kind of automatically.
My break was going out and being by myself in the park and having a vape at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Social distance kings all day, every day. Leave me alone, people.
Yeah.
Don't fucking come near me.
I just realized my story completely took away from we were talking to you about what you're doing.
Honestly, it's probably more entertaining. I got to be honest.
But yeah, so you got back from Europe.
Yeah, I think the original question was what was the question? How did I start doing this, or when? I think it was, yeah, that's right, because I lost concept of time. I think it's been about 3.5 years. I think it's 4 years in April. If April is even still a thing, who knows? But yeah, and I kind of just got into it because I've always been when I was younger, I was always a really creative dude, and I did a lot of like acting and performing arts and everything. And as you do when you get older and you get bills to pay and you've got jobs to do and responsibilities and stuff, the quote unquote free time to pursue stuff like that disappears.
Yes.
And I had just been in a period of time where I was like not scratching any creative itch at all. kind of sat back and like I never watched Twitch, which is funny. Like I never knew of Twitch really apart from a few of the people who played Destiny, which I really enjoyed at the time, were on Twitch. And I just fired it up and just thought, you know what, to hell with it. Let's get on there and see how it goes.
Let's give it a
And
nudge.
that's essentially nothing has changed in 3.5 years. That's still the mentality every single day. Let's start it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Okay.
But you've done a lot in that time, though. You've done a hell of a lot. You've traveled, you've gone to events and shit, because I've met you in person at events and stuff. You've done stuff with brands. I see you do that as well.
That is true.
What was that like?
The new Audio Technica. You know what's funny? Not only is this the beautiful new Audio Technica merch.
Yeah, no plugs on our show, mate.
Little plug. Oh, okay. But it is literally the first time that I've ironed a shirt in I think 6 months. So this is an occasion. I'm treating this as like,
okay, fair. Yeah. Plug away then.
Podcast with you boys was an excuse to iron the shirt and look all pretty. No, I've been very fortunate, like very, very, very fortunate in terms of I've been overseas for the Borderlands event with 2K, done a lot of great stuff with heaps of brands, Audio Technica in all seriousness, and Ubisoft Jack as well. You've done some stuff with, and been very lucky. So yeah, no, I downplay it a lot in terms of what I bring to stream. I'm not much of a pump up your own tires kind of person. I don't feel comfortable with it, but in terms of like what I've been very fortunate to do and be a part of, and people who I've met, and that's been, phenomenal. Far, far, far beyond. I think when I first started, it might have been 2K, because I started playing with Borderlands, and I think 2K gave me a copy or two of the Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, to give away, which at the time was about 5 years old, I think. And I remember thinking, I've made it. I'm like, this is this game. These 2 games I can give away. I didn't pay for these.
Yeah,
these were, and that was like mind bending.
I can remember going through the same moment when, because I used to do a podcast and a radio show back in New Zealand, and when we were first approached by a brand, which was Xbox, was the first one we ever worked with, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to send you 4 games."
Yeah, you're like, is that a typo?
What
did you say? 4?
4 games, and and I think it was like a month later, we were the first people in New Zealand to ever get hands on with the Xbox One.
Crazy.
That's awesome.
But that was a massive leap, like just getting these free games, and they were ones that we got to keep. We didn't have to give those ones away.
Look out!
Oh, goddamn!
I know, you were high rolling from the beginning.
Oh, dude. But the funny thing was, all of those games they sent us were like 3 months old at the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, and hopefully not region locked, because that would have sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xbox ANZ send you the hard copies of the Australian games, and then you cooked. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that, Hado. Like, you put things into perspective, and there's been a lot of amazing opportunities that I've gotten. So I'm very grateful. I do like to joke that we'll just get on and see how we go and do what we do and downplay it a lot. But in terms of go to LA with 2K and see Borderlands 3
The thing is, I see you as being one of these people. You've put yourself out there, and I think it's massive. It's not so much pumping yourself up, but you've got to put yourself out there to get these opportunities.
Yeah,
opportunities aren't just thrust upon you, right? You've got to put yourself out there and let yourself be known and do things. And sometimes you'll be noticed, and there's other times you need to be the one that gets yourself noticed.
Yeah, it really does come down to. I mean, there's a lot of people in the space, so there is. It's. I mean, it's a massive dice roll. Sorry,
and more so after coronavirus.
Oh, exactly. And the other thing is brands and stuff like that. They need to spread the love around. They can't just keep giving the same opportunities to 6 people, because that, from a business point of view, is silly, because you limit the reach that you get. So the fact that I've gotten the opportunities that I have, I'm very, very grateful. And obviously anything that comes up in the future, I'm looking forward to doing. I think I don't like talking about, this is why my stream's great. This is why you should tune in. But if you put me in front of someone and you give me a job to do, or you give me something to host or something, I'm confident that I can do it.
Yeah.
But just don't ask me afterwards about how I think it went because I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, 'cause you'll probably have a list of every critical thing.
Every single thing that I did wrong that you might not have seen. I'm like, next time.
Did you hear how embarrassing that intro was?
Yeah, exactly right. I
I
mispronounced that
up.
one word.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
slipped up just before I said
that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Completely.
And what sort of things are you sort of hoping to get to achieve with your stream? Like, you've been doing this for 3 years. Is there an end goal? Is there are you one of these people that sets yourself like little micro goals?
Yeah, it's like I've never been a goal kind of person, but I really need to be. And I think that's why in the last it's funny you mention it. In the last, 3 or 4 months when we've had so much time on our hands, because of Corona, obviously, I think I've sat and I really, really enjoy streaming and I like the interactivity with it. There's nothing like it really to be able to sit and do it live and speak to people live. But one thing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year and probably into the new year heavily is I mentioned I love performing arts and stuff like that, but I had a lot of script writing background, a lot of English literature and stuff like that. So sitting and actually writing a script, like and editing, like a YouTube video is really like I enjoy streaming a lot and I love the spontaneity of it. But the idea of sitting and writing like a word perfect script and editing a video and just making it like what's the word? Just like a project from start to finish is really exciting. And I haven't done that to date. I've done it a few times with some Borderlands videos that have done pretty well relative to the small size of the YouTube channel. But in the new year, I think that's where I'm really going to go. I'm going to shift a lot of creative focus to YouTube. Still do the streaming thing, but YouTube, I think you'll see a lot more from me in terms of crafted creativity as opposed to like the
you're definitely
stuff.
wired the exact opposite of me, dude, when it comes to that.
Oh, really?
I can't stand the idea of having to sit down and write a script and having to make sure that it's word perfect, deliver it and things like that. It's which is why I went into radio rather than TV.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Radio, you just need a couple of talking points and just talk shit for the next half hour.
Yeah.
That's why doing shows like this or whatever is totally down my alley. It's like picking up on things where you can sort of take the conversation and things like that. Whereas, the idea of having to sit down and write it out, I literally would be the guy who goes, right, let's write this out.
The blank page with just the cursor flashing on you on the screen.
Right, I'm literally a month overdue for a chapter I've been asked to write for. There's this book being written about the history of New Zealand and from like the 1980s until now, and I was asked to write about video games, right? The history of video games in New Zealand. Awesome. Yep, I can do that, and 100% I know what I'm doing. I can write. It's just I don't want to write.
Yeah. It all comes down to motivation, doesn't it?
You need that Snapdragon or whatever it's called. You just talk and it writes it for you.
Yeah. Well, that's actually good advice. The one great piece of advice I got given years and years ago when I was in high school. We're not talking about how old I am. Thanks very much. We when I was in high school, my English teacher at the time was like, you literally just start writing anything. It doesn't need to be coherent. It doesn't need to be well edited. It doesn't need to be just if you pick your topic and start writing before you know it, you've written 3 or 4 pages and your brain is kicked into the gear that it needs to be in to get you writing. So in a pinch, when you have to write something about the history of New Zealand and gaming and stuff like that, you just get started. But it is hard to find that spark because if it's not what
the funny thing was, I did used to write all the time. Back when we had our website, I used to write daily. It's just I've gotten out of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was that good at English at school in year 6 that I was like writing this like short story we had to do for like an end year thing. And I knew that there was like a word count. So I like one part of it, I made one of my characters fall into like a well or like a hole. And I had, and the hole went on and on and on and on.
Look out.
And I just put that for like fucking 4 sentences to try and get my word count up. And the teacher looked at it and went, no, you can't do that. I was like, well, he fell really far.
Yeah. You're like, listen, is this creative writing or not?
Yeah, exactly. Leave me alone. It's my fucking story.
You were already counting the recess hours. You were like, I'm just going to be able to like stay overtime in recess. I'm never going to be in class. This project's almost done.
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
Genius.
Finished the first chapter. Just half of it was just on and on and on and on and on for 3 pages.
Yeah. But you hacked it.
Boom.
You hacked the system.
Yeah,
Fuck,
you
it's
learn
too
a
funny.
valuable lesson.
It was too funny.
All right. Anyway, let's get into some news. Actually, I'm totally on theme for our first topic.
You are.
We've got the green
With
going
the blue
on,
and the green.
going on. I've got the Xbox. I've got the PlayStation. We're on theme. It is.
Gross.
It is nearly upon us, guys. Next gen consoles that far away. What's launch day? The 11th.
10th, I think.
Maybe 10th. Might be the 10th.
Yeah.
Not sure, to be honest. Not.
Of course.
I think it is my birthday or the day after.
I think it's the 10th because that's when I think Assassin's Creed launches with the new consoles, and I'm pretty sure that's the 10th.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that was kind of the first question. Is what do you guys think about it? That's what I wanted to know, because I'm not a huge console person. I've had Xboxes and PlayStations in the past, but I ended up giving them away just because I wasn't playing them, and like there's not really any games that I'm like I need to play that, and it's only on a console.
Yeah.
So I just don't have them at all. I have a Switch, but Alicia has that in the bedroom. She plays Skyrim on it, and I'm just PC. So I don't know. What do you guys?
I'm looking forward to both of them. I missed out on both pre-orders, but I have secured through a friend who pre-ordered 3 of them because he didn't want to miss out on his pre-order.
Yeah, of course.
True.
So he just went everywhere and pre-ordered everywhere, and he managed to lock in 3 of them. So he literally messaged me the other day, and he said, "Dude, before I cancel this pre-order, do you need a PS5?"
And you're like, "What do you think?"
And I was like,
"Hell yeah!"
Yeah. So
that's
I may
mad.
have.
Have you got your hands on both?
Well, no, I want both. Because I've always played both. I don't have a preference. But I don't have an Xbox locked in yet. But
you've got that history with Xbox going years and years back to the. I don't know why they haven't hooked you up, Fid. That's like not to call them out, but geez, that's a disgrace.
funny thing is, like, I have done so much work with Xbox over the years, but the systems have changed. I'm no longer in that broadcaster influencer thing anymore, so I'm the old guy who now works on the business side of the industry.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I was hit up by Xbox ANZ to do some stuff for Greenstown, which is on the 9th.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm potentially going to be on that. I still haven't found out yet. I had to record a thing for them and send it through and sign some documentation. So
you'll do it for free for a Series X.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Look, to be honest, I'd probably do it for a Series S.
And I know at your rates, Fid, that's basically free.
Oh, it is.
Basically, what you could be asking for a Series X or S, like. It's a bargain for Xbox.
Right. Funny thing was, I actually sent them through some of the footage from the New Zealand launch of the Xbox One because we were there. We had all this footage from it.
Yep.
And that's what I've been asked to talk about. They got asked to send them through something to do with my thoughts and feelings around the past gen before going into the next gen. So, and I still have no idea what's happening with Greenstown. That's literally the only part I know about.
I was going to say it's shrouded in secrecy, isn't it?
That's massively. Somebody leaked a photo of a massive white screen on the pier in Queenstown.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter actually, because they even replied to it with like a little eye emoji, which I thought was pretty funny. So, but yeah, what do you guys think about?
We do know that Laurie Pops is involved.
Yeah, because she said that.
She said that she's involved. So, and Laurie, I have DM'd Laurie and said, "What's happening?" And she's gone, I can't say anything, Fid.
Yes, she's like a vault.
Good work.
Yeah.
She really is. She really is. But have you guys would have seen photos, right, of everyone receiving theirs? And have you guys seen the fucking fridge?
Right,
the actual fridge.
Okay, so
how insane.
So I found out about the fridge. This is actually a weird situation. I've got so many weird stories this week. I got a DM from the guy that owns King Ice, which is the jeweler where I buy my necklaces and stuff from. And so he sent me a video, which was the video that ended up going live like a day later, which was them basically Snoop getting the fridge. But at the same time, it was also unveiling that they're doing. They've now got the Xbox license, so they're going to be doing Xbox Bling.
Yeah.
But yeah, got to see Snoop's one. There's only 3 of those fridges in the world. Snoop's got one, iJustine's got one, and they're giving one away.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Because I skipped through iJustine's video, and fuck, I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought it was just a big meme. And then I was like, bruh, I reckon they've actually done it because it's Xbox. They always just
lean into the memes.
They always just lean into the memes. And everyone was like, looks like a fridge. Back in the day, I was like, bro, if they don't make a fridge, like, they're fucking missing out on something hilarious.
Oh, totally.
And it wasn't a small fridge either.
No.
Like, they put that fucking wooden container in a garage, and it was like near the roof.
Yeah.
And then she slid it out. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, what I was amazed is when they plug the fridge in and turn it on, it lights up green, but it also plays the menu music.
Yeah. Bro, the funniest bit about that is she opened her Xbox Series X in front of her fridge, and she opened her PlayStation 5 in front of the fridge.
the fridge got double screen time.
Yeah, but Xbox got screen time on the PlayStation unboxing as well, which I thought was fucking hilarious.
It's funny though, because I was thinking about this, right? The investment, and it's probably because of what we do for a job, Jack. Is you look at these things and you go, "Oh, this would have cost about this much money. What's the return on investment for it?" And I looked at iJustine and I was like, "Yep, solid investment."
Yeah,
right. She's
like
got
10 million views on that fucking fridge unboxing anyway. So
the Snoop one,
crazy shit.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's also been, like you said, it's been in the background of other videos. She's tweeted about it. There's been lots of mentions, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
But the Snoop one is one that I find funny, right? Is because they sent it to Snoop. Snoop put out one Instagram story. Done. There's been no tweets. There's been no posts.
No follow-ups.
No follow-up at all. I think
he's probably got a contract, and it's like, do this, this, and this, and this for a fridge, and he's manager or whatever's going, no worries, we can do it. And Snoop's gone and read it and gone, I'm not doing that shit. And they go, well, you're not getting paid. He goes, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I've got a fridge.
I don't care. Yeah. Like, I don't know. He might have said, I'll do an Instagram story. That's all you get, or fuck off. And they went, all right, no worries. But I don't know.
Renegotiated the deal a little bit. Maybe,
I reckon if they sent him something big, he would have just went, fuck you, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough. Not like they said, I'll give you 20 grand for it. He would be like, I don't care.
Yeah, to him, you need to put out a fair amount of coin, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't really give him anything because they had the video and like I think there's probably more content coming and shit like that with him anyway. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah. He probably just did it because he wanted to. But that fridge is so sick. I reckon it's really cool.
Only thing I thought is when they wheeled it out, how it's obviously modeled on the Xbox, and the Xbox on the top have got those little holes. I'm like, shit, dust is getting in there. Like, that was the first thing I thought. Like, picture your fridge in the fridge bay, and you pull that thing out. You're like, oh, there's going to be some dust in that fridge.
Well, the other thing I was thinking,
probably the only person alive who thought that, but yeah.
I don't know. But to add to that, dude, is
it's a fair point.
I don't know if you guys are this sort of people, but I'm certainly as where you've got your fridge. Are you the sort of person that puts shit on top of your fridge? Like, it doesn't go in the cupboard.
Yeah,
doesn't go in the drawer. Like, the third drawer down. It doesn't go in there.
Where else is the fish and chips takeaway menu going to go?
Yeah, right. It goes on the fridge.
Yeah.
If you've got
you get it down and you got to go.
Yeah. 17 spare pens. Everything that needs to be up there.
But if you've got those holes in the top of the Xbox thing, like all the little things that you chuck on top of the fridge, they're gone.
Exactly.
You have to feel around to,
in all the fucking holes and shit.
Terrible design Xbox. There we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's almost like they've designed it aesthetically as opposed to functionality-wise.
Not.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Too good.
Yeah.
The next thing... Oh, you still talking about Xbox and shit?
Well, Well, I was
fair
going to
enough.
say about PlayStation, actually, dude, was
Oh yeah,
so
forgot about those guys.
PlayStation, they also went into the hands of people this week as well.
Mm.
What do you think about the fucking size of that behemoth?
Oh, speak about a fridge.
It is big.
Well, it's a monster.
It
It's
didn't
bigger
look
than
that
the
big.
Xbox, right?
It's what?
Series X.
Is
The Series
it
X
bigger
looks
than
tiny.
the Xbox?
It's bigger than the Xbox. It's taller than the Xbox, and it's
Yeah.
about almost as wide as the Xbox. It's huge.
I suppose with the increase of like specs and what it's capable of doing, it needed to be a little bit bigger. If you think what you chuck into a PC tower and what's required in there, it couldn't have been
But I
too
mean,
small. But
Xbox looks like they've managed to do it. But I mean, only
yeah,
time will
true.
tell, right? Are we going to have another heat issue with the Xbox?
Yeah,
potentially?
another generation of red rings of death. Hopefully not.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. I mean,
Can you
hopefully not. Of course, hopefully
imagine?
not.
Everyone's little
Yeah.
Xbox logo going red.
And the
Oh.
irony is, the only way to get it to work is to put it into the fridge.
hey!
Sold separately, but you've got to have them together for them to work.
$4.5 grand for your
Yeah.
Xbox Series X cooler.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't happen. Xbox, I love you very much.
Exactly.
So much. I don't have an Xbox, but yeah. Also, don't want to burn any bridges.
Surely
Right,
we're past the days of red ring. Surely.
Oh, well and truly. Yeah, that was a simpler time.
Yeah, a good time, but a terrible one.
Talking about red ring of death. Very quick story. My wife and I have got this weird hobby. We've given it a name of urban picking, because what we love doing is, you ever see those piles of shit on the side of the road outside someone's house for
Like a hard rubbish
collection? Yeah.
Yep.
Me and my wife
Alicia, every single time we drive past, he slows down.
Yeah, exactly. And my wife and I now love it. Like, we've got to the point where we'll go out for a drive at night when we're bored and see if there's any. Last night we had our biggest score. We scored a couple of things, which was like an old 1950s movie projector and some actual reels and all those bits and pieces. But I scored a Xbox 360 Elite Edition, right? And I thought, it's fucked. It's covered in dust. It's going to be fucked. Got it home, wiped it down. The controller had never been used. It still had the stickers on it out of the box.
Wow. What the
Plugged it
fuck?
in, had been logged in, but it was still original condition. Still had the hard drive. So yeah, managed to score an Elite Edition.
That's
Xbox
crazy.
360 off the side of the road.
That's fucking wild.
You know, there's
So
there's
did it
some
come in a
guy
box, or was it like
It
just
didn't
sitting?
come in a box. It didn't come in a box. It was sitting inside of a random cardboard box. Would have been
Right,
amazing
okay.
if it had the original box, but
so
But
good.
still.
Yeah. You know,
That's
there's some
awesome.
guy out there who's had a fight with his girlfriend, and he's going to come home, and in about 4 or 5 days, he's going to be look, baby, I'm sorry. Where's the Xbox? And then all of a sudden, she's just going to be like, oh, sorry about that.
yeah,
It's all out the fucking front and it's gone. That's nuts. That's cool though.
So good.
That's very cool. Alicia
What's
loves
next?
that shit. The next thing, I found firefighting simulator. But
Ooh.
this goes on to what you were saying before, Subby, about 2020 is the year of the
random party game.
party game. Of the party games. Because this is I think this is a co-op simulator up to 4 people, and it's literally a simulation of fighting fires. Like, house will be on fire, you've got to roll up, and you've got one that drives, one that puts the crane out up the crane, and all that shit.
Oh, look,
I don't
know. Task.
There's a very small video I watched, and you can't really see too much about it, so I don't really know what the gameplay looks like, or anything like that. But I think there is, in what I read, there's physics-based destruction, realistic damage to structures, and there are civilians that need to be rescued as well. So I don't know if it's like a meme-y kind of game where it's going to be a bit arcadey, kind of like moving out, kind of the same top-down, and you just throw shit, or whether it's going to be like a proper simulator.
Proper serious to me. I just watched the video then while talking.
Yeah, it looks cool though, eh?
You know, Australians are going to be the best at this game, right?
Well,
100%.
hopefully this year. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But I just thought it'd be cool because this year is like the year of the party game because everyone's so separated. There's all these games that are bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
And this could be the next thing that pops off because as long as it's like a little bit memey, then it should be fun. But I think it could be fun.
It has
cool.
to be easily accessible, and I think that's why this year Fall Guys killed it. Among Us is still killing it.
Yeah.
What was the other one we mentioned before?
Phasmophobia.
Thank you. Phasmophobia. Really simple, and you can pick them up and you can learn them in 10 minutes. But over time, they're enhanced by playing with friends. So yeah, definitely the social distancing and being kept apart by borders or whatever it is. This year has definitely brought people together online more than ever to play games. So I wouldn't be surprised, Hutto, if that's the next one that pops off.
It is cool though. I'm going to download. I'm going to give it a go because I've always loved Firefighters and loved. It's on November 17th is when it's coming to Steam.
Nice.
But
what's the price point? Does it say?
It doesn't say on here. No, I'm really too
That's the
sure.
other thing. Phasmophobia, Among Us,
they're all cheap.
Free. They're all cheap.
Yeah, and that was definitely key to their success as well. Like being able to drop $5 on a game or $10 on a game to give it a go, you don't mind.
You don't do the same mental gymnastics as you do for a $90 AAA title.
Well, exactly.
True, very true. But it looks good, and it looks like you've got to like smash doors down and everything. Doesn't have a price on here though yet. It just says add to your wish list. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add it to my wish list. There we go.
And so all
very cool.
All of these party games, bringing us all together. We're all having fun. We're all having a laugh. And in a couple of weeks' time, there's a game that's getting released that's going to rip us all apart again, and we'll all be talking shit about each other's mums.
Oh, no.
Call of Duty.
Ah.
Great segue, by the way.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It always devolves into the mother criticisms, doesn't it?
True.
No matter how old you get, or it has to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. It's like you open up Call of Duty and you instantly just like, yeah, your mum.
Yeah.
Like, straight away, you're like, your mum. That's it. There's no other way to insult anybody.
I don't think there's an insult that hits as hard because people can go, geez, you're an ugly shit. And you're like, yeah, you've got a bit of a point. But when people go, oh, your mum's this and that, you're like, don't you dare.
Bro.
And it's like, it's the trigger. It's the trigger, no matter how old you are. And they know it too.
My first fight in high school was caused by somebody talking shit about my mum.
Yeah. It'll do it every time.
It will.
It'll do it every time.
The thing is what we're talking about. Oh, you skipped ahead. I was talking about fucking Blizzard there for a second. Oh, well. Anyway. Call of Duty. The fucking... How much it's gonna fill our fucking hard drives, this fucking game. 250 gig is required to download this fucking game.
It's huge.
Is that not insane? Like, I'm no fucking game dev, game builder, fucking map designer, whatever. But I just don't understand how a game can be that large.
Yeah. It's funny considering Epic managed to, in their last update to Fortnite, which has gotten huge over the last 3 years. Like, with every update, that game's gotten bigger and bigger. They managed to compress the game down, and I think they cut something like 40 gig off the game.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I'm almost certain, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain that Red Dead 2 was under 100. I think it was about 80 odd. And the scope of that game, like what's involved in that.
Yeah.
And they can get it in under 100. So how do you justify 2.5 times the size of Red Dead? It's gonna want to be graphically the greatest game that has ever been made.
Yeah. But I guess you've got to think about like all the maps. And I think they're saying here is the game requires at least 50 gig for multiplayer and 175 gig for all game modes.
Is this
some of that probably comes into the story mode and everything as well.
Yeah, is this going to include Warzone as well? Because I know it's compatible with Warzone. Like Warzone is a part of Cold War now.
I don't know. It doesn't say in here. I haven't read that in what I was reading. But I guess it's got like ray tracing and everything built in as well. So I know like Watch Dogs was quite large compared to the previous ones, but I had ray tracing and everything else built in as well. So that probably takes up a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just saw that and I went, holy shit. Like I read the other day that that's how big it was going to be. And it like just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because Pez messaged me the other day and he was like, oh, do you want to play some Warzone sometime? And I looked at it and it was like a 200 gig download or some shit. And I was like, no.
You're like, by sometime, do you mean this year? Because that's probably not going to happen.
I want to, but I just bought a new 1 terabyte hard drive and I put all my games on it.
Yeah.
And if I installed Warzone, then that's done. That 1 terabyte hard drive is full. And I've just gone from like the last year of having to download, like delete a game to download a new game because I didn't have hard drive space. And I went, you know what? I'll buy a new hard drive, and I'm not going back to that again like this quick. It's been like a month. I just couldn't do it. But I don't know. Call of Duty was fun though, so
this is the first Call of Duty I've actually seen some genuine hype around for a long time. Like,
it was fun. It was actually really fun. I had a lot of fun in the beta.
Yeah, every other Call of Duty over the last, I would say, 3-4 years, people have bought it, but it hasn't had that same sort of hype that it used to have back in like the Black Ops days, right?
It's almost been habit for people to pick it up annually. Yeah,
and I think this is the first time I've seen people genuinely. It's the first one my kids have asked me to buy in years. My youngest,
because it's Black Ops. That's why Black Ops is the shit.
Yeah,
Black Ops 1 and 2. Whew.
Yeah,
oh, damn.
But my youngest is his birthday next week, and he's said, "Yep, I want Cold War."
Fair enough.
Shit.
Good birthday present. Good fucking birthday present.
Well, there's no special editions this year because I said, just buying him a downloadable game is a bit of a shit birthday present. I thought I'll see if I can find him a limited edition or something like that.
Yeah,
not doing one. I even DM'd a mate who works at Activision and asked her. I said, "Is it going to be a limited edition, something
statue
with
or some shit?"
Yeah. It's just like nothing.
No.
God damn. There you go.
2020.
Yep. The year of no statues.
All right, the year of no statues.
The next thing that I read.
It's not.
Yeah, true. Don't do that. Anyway, speaking of Call of Duty again, Activision Blizzard put out, well, in this article that I was reading, the company's made over $1.95 billion in revenue from microtransactions.
Wow.
Between the period of July and for the period July to September. So
is this just skins and
yeah. And 1.2 billion of that in microtransactions mostly came from Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Warzone.
Warzone
is that not
me.
fucking insane?
Oh, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. The other thing that makes me laugh though is, like everybody shits on EA for the microtransactions and how much money they're making, and I don't think you really hear Blizzard Activision ever brought up. But that business is growing over the last few years on it. I mean, look at the games like Diablo and that. Like how much microtransactions come up in those sort of games.
Yeah, a lot. But that was just a wild amount. That like for the games that are so big and kind of like seem unjustifiably huge. Yeah. And the amount of shit people talk about these games, the audio bugs, all that shit.
As Tuppy said earlier, is you're already paying $90 for the game up front.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you're already like the games already seem rather expensive.
Yeah.
For them to be out every year, and they're making like over $1 billion in microtransactions. Like that is just crazy.
This has to be the only industry in entertainment where they're like, "Hey, buy this thing." Okay, I'll buy this thing. Also, if you want, you can buy more things inside the thing. Like, I mean, you can't. No one buys a CD back in the day and go, "Oh, if you want some extra songs, it's going to cost you."
Yeah, and that's why it'll never change, because $1.95 billion is why they will always, not naming names, but why they will always release games that are not finished and buggy, and because what will happen is people will play them, and let's say 60% of people are frustrated, this game's buggy, this game's broken. What will happen is the whales, the people who are addicted, the people who have those tendencies to reach to their wallet and do a microtransaction straight away because they need these things, they want these things. They're like, we're not going to name a particular game that was released recently, but a game came out and is matchmaking's busted, this, that, and the other. But they're already making a lot of money from microtransactions. The base game itself might not survive, but the money that they've made in the interim is a shit ton.
Yeah.
So not to say that COD's going to be the same. I'm not a big COD player. I've never really played it, to be honest. And it might be a masterpiece when it gets released. But yeah, they're never going to take them out. They're never going to regulate them. They're never going to do whatever they can because why in God's name would you?
I mean, Call of Duty
from their point of view, you know.
Call of Duty does tend to be a fairly complete game when it's out.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've got no experience with the franchise, so that's why I'm just talking in general terms.
Even the closed beta and the beta felt really good.
Yeah,
and just like
that's
the
always
small
a
amount
good
of guns
sign.
and maps we were able to use. I never really had an issue besides my fucking horrible aim.
Is the player base of Call of Duty really skewed young, or is it kind of gotten a little bit more? You know,
I'm not sure.
I feel like it's one of those games that's quite
broad.
Quite broad, yeah. Because you got all the kids that still want to play because it's COD. Then you got all the blokes our age and older that are
who
like
used to play it.
Are we gonna
play COD?
Are we gonna see the rise of bloody trick shotters again?
I hope so. I would love. I want like full montages back, like the real
MLG
slow,
montages.
like wobbly screens and shit.
Yeah,
I've actually been seeing some of those from Valorant.
Okay.
Like a not really a trick shotty montage, but like just like clutch plays and like all that shit, like just cool shots, like someone running around with like the fucking the deagle equivalent, just snapping headshots, but like every time I hit, it goes boom, like all that weird colorful screen shit. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Weird zooms and
all the weird zoom ins and zoom outs and all that shit, the swipes and stuff. Yeah, it's actually really cool. So I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. The amount of money that
content coming in.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I hope so. I'm very keen. But the last thing in the news I saw, Twitch announces a virtual TwitchCon. It's called GlitchCon.
I'm going to TwitchCon this year.
Yeah.
Same. But I didn't actually see this. It came out yesterday or the day before, and I didn't even see the tweet. I was like, what the hell? Like, I just saw this in the news a second ago, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
They've been teasing stuff with glitches and stuff for the last...
I saw that, but then I didn't see the final ending bit until now, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. But, yeah. So, I know we spoke about PAX Online a while ago, and I watched a few things, but I wasn't, like, fully there, you know? So, is this, like, another one of those things for you guys as well? Like, it's cool, and for the people that really need it, and it's going to be great for them to, you know, get involved, and they might have different rooms and people can jump in and chat with each other and their friends and stuff, which is really cool. So it could be a good little social thing for a lot of people that need it this year, which is, you know, very, very true. But I don't know, unless it's like, I don't even know what would get me to really get involved, you know, with the online
when
stuff.
You think about PAX and stuff like that, and even, you know, people who have gone to TwitchCon, I think a huge part of it is, and you raise a good point, like the people who need that kind of social interaction will be able to get it and got it through PAX Online, and that's great. But in terms of, like, I met you at PAX last, not, you know, the one just gone, the one before. And you go to see your mates. You go to experience, it's really legitimately, without trying to sound, you know, over the top, it's an experience that you go and you've got to be there. So I don't know if even Awesome Games Done Quick or whatever version of that it was this year, they didn't have crowds and stuff like that. It was all just done online. And I will sit there and I'll put 10 hours into watching that shit normally. Whereas this year, no.
I was just about to say, like, I think something like Games Done Quick can skew into a online
could transition a lot more easily than an event that's built around catching up with your friends and
see, I don't know about you, but PAX this year I was barely engaged in. I tried. I tried to get engaged in PAX Online.
I watched a few things. I watched the panel from Audio Technica just because I'm interested in what they've got to say.
I watched a few panels that I was interested in.
Panels,
I don't know if I can genuinely hand on heart say that I enjoyed PAX this year, because I'm one of these people that go to PAX to hang out with my friends and do awesome shit, right?
Yeah.
And it just wasn't the same.
Yeah. True. I'm definitely keen on the Twitch thing though, just see what they do. See if they announce anything.
It'd be the cheapest way to go to TwitchCon.
True. Sit in my shed by myself, watching some videos. But I just thought it was cool because I'd seen the glitch thing, but I hadn't actually seen what came from it. So that'll be very cool. And
it's
the
good
logo
that they're doing
is not
something
completely
as opposed
center,
to just,
which is weird.
it would be very easy to just be like, well, no packs, no, and that
Yeah.
kind of feeds into the whole like, well, the world's kind of screwed at the moment. Where at least they're doing something like, you know,
100%.
yeah, I've got to.
Very agree.
Like you said, Hunter, there's people who hang on it, and that's like they need that, and they're still going to get it in some way, shape, or form, and mentally, like mental health wise, that's a good thing. So
Mm.
more power to them, and I hope it goes well.
Agree. Very agree. And that was kind of it. Besides the all the stuff we've been doing with CPA, which is cool. So
Yeah.
we're recording this on Thursday, and in a couple of hours we have the esports event. So fingers crossed that all goes well and everything. It should be a good time.
Yeah, but if anyone still wants to donate to that, Jack will make sure that in the description down below we've got links to donate, because we are trying to hit 35K with that. We're a fair way off. Like I said, this is before the esports event, so all donations are going directly to the Cerebral Palsy Alliance, who are doing awesome work, not just with cerebral palsy patients and clients, but with all sorts of different people who suffering with disabilities. And they also do some awesome work with an offshoot of them called Remarkable, who actually help create services and devices and things like that to help people with accessibility. So the money is getting used in awesome ways. So
great work.
Yeah,
very
jump in and drop a dono, or if you even want to hold your own stream, you can join the Tiltify and raise some money yourself for cerebral palsy. Be much appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
That esports event should be fun. Seeing everyone that's never played Rocket League before play Rocket League.
It's gonna be amazing. We've got
It's gonna be so fun.
We've got teams are all influencers that have never played it, paired up with one pro or semi-pro university player and a Cerebral Palsy Alliance client. So it's going to be hilarious, and I feel sorry for the commentators who normally commentate pro level Rocket League. They're going to be, I think they're the ones who are going to find it the hardest, to be honest.
Yeah.
How do you commentate chaos?
You just do your best. Just cross your fingers and do your best.
It's gonna be very funny. Very funny. But that's the news. That's it. All done.
What are we looking forward to in the next week?
Ooh. I don't know.
For me, it's Greenstown. I'm looking forward to Greenstown.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, true.
That's going to be cool. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. And of course, I think by the time we get to our next episode, Jack, we're going to be that close to having the new console. So still very excited for that.
I am keen for that because my birthday on the 10th. So,
happy birthday for the 10th.
Xbox hooked me up with a birthday present.
Yeah, I think it will be Assassin's Creed. It won't be this week, but the next 7 days it'll be Assassin's Creed. I just hope it gets me as much as Watch Dogs has, because I was actually looking forward to Watch Dogs and then Assassin's Creed more so, and Watch Dogs has really surprised me. So Assassin's Creed is there's been a lot of tweaks, I think, for the better. So I'm really looking forward to jumping on in. Maybe I'll do the same thing. Maybe I'll play it a day or two off stream just for me, and then kind of hook on into that.
Important as well. I reckon you need to keep something to yourself as a streamer as well.
Yeah.
I always tell people part of the success of being a streamer is you do have to give a part of yourself away to your audience so that they can connect with you. But that makes it even more important to keep those things to yourself. And if that means spending some time playing a game by yourself for the fun of it, not for the entertainment value of yours, do it.
That's true, because it does become very easy to just go, all right, well, I can't play that because that's 5 hours worth of content that I could be streaming. Whereas, back in the day, you just played it because you enjoyed it. So it's probably important to remember to do that from time to time.
100% it is.
Very
all
true.
Right.
Very
so
true.
Thanks for joining us this week, Subby.
Thank you for having me.
This is like the longest show we've had, I think, too. I kept looking at the time and I was like, oh, shit, quick, hurry up. But
it flies by, which ironically is not usually how it happens. It usually goes very quickly.
True. Very true.
Yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/sub. It's SubParLover everywhere. On the main places, you can find me at Twitch, YouTube. Like I said, I'm going to be putting a lot of work into YouTube for the rest of the year and into the new year. So I think you'll enjoy stuff over there, and also SubParLover on Twitter.
Awesome. And if you want to follow Jack and myself, you can follow Jack at Jack Hutto on everything. Follow myself at Fit McAwesome on everything. And of course, follow Go2Game. You can catch us at goto.game on Instagram, at Go2Game on Twitter. If you look us up on Facebook, just look up goto.game. You'll find us easily there. And of course, you can find us on our website, www.goto.game. We've got news, reviews, opinions, and all sorts of stuff going up there all the time. And of course, wherever you've watched this video, make sure you hit a sub, give us a thumbs up, and ring notification bells, and join the Noti squad, and
do all the stuff.
What's all the other stuff we're supposed to say on these things?
Oh, who the fuck knows these days? Who knows? Do whatever you want, as long as you enjoyed it and you go follow SubPar. That's it. Pretty much.
It's been awesome catching up with you guys.
Hell yeah!
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, Subby. We'll have to definitely do this again. Have to jump on and give you a thrashing at Battlegrounds one day.
I will have the kendo stick ready and raring to go.
Thanks to everyone who's joined in and watched the show. Tell your friends about it, and we'll be back next week.
Sweet.